Illinois, where the million-dollar baby Alvin Prouder meets Hoosier Dwayne Wyatt. Sam Smith and John Worley were ringside for the bout.
Prouder starting out right away, establishing his front leg, using a few side kicks to kind of feel out Wyatt.
Wyatt throwing his first kick after throwing 2 or 3 right and left hands, exchanging kicks.
Well, just a brief review of the rules here. Each fighter has to kick a minimum of 8 hard kicks each round, or they're penalized by the judging officials. Both fighters are wearing 3-ounce foot pads that are bare on the bottom. They wear, in this division, 8-ounce boxing gloves. And these fights are scored on the 10-point must. Each scoring judge will give 10 points to the fighter they think wins the round.
Good kicking ability by the champion, Alvin Prouder, who again is in the goal with the dollar signs down the side, if you will. And in the red is Dwayne Wyatt. Ricky Haynes, by the way, was introduced to this crowd here in Rockford. And it was announced that within probably a month or 2 months, that Haynes will be given another shot at the championship by the man that owns it, Alvin Prouder, providing, of course, that Prouder can hang on and have that championship at that time. This is not a title fight. Keep that in mind now.
Well, Prouder so far is really taking his time and kind of looking Dwayne Wyatt over, sizing him up. Wyatt is taking some chances, but I would think his corner will be cautioning about, just like that, lunging across at Prouder. He's not going to have any luck lunging at Alvin Prouder.
John Worley, one of the things about the champion Alvin Prouder is he does have that excellent hand speed.
He's got quick hands. It seems to me like he's trying to measure Dwayne Wyatt and set him up for the right hand. That's been his most potent weapon all of his career, is that good right hand.
Wyatt trying to lead, as you see him, from the southpaw with the lead right. Follow with the left hand. Has been kicking well, as have both the fighters here so far in round 1, and there's the bell.
Prouder just has great timing, slides back just out of range of the right hand and follows up with a back roundhouse kick to Wyatt. Neither fighter really doing any real damage to the other in that first round. However, I think Prouder probably was the fighter that kind of controlled the action.
One additional bit of information on our rules. The rounds in PKA Karate are 2 minutes in duration, but it can seem like an awful long time. How about your scoring, John Worley, as you'll be doing throughout the fight of round 1?
Well, unofficially, I gave that first round 10-9 to Alvin Prouder. Simply, as I mentioned, he seemed to be a little more in control of the distance and the timing of the round. Wyatt seems to be lunging, Prouder moving and countering effectively.
He did there as he led with just a soft left, but backed it up with a good, strong right hand. And again, that ever-present side kick. A round kick thrown nicely by Wyatt, just catching the champion on the shoulders. There's one by the champ.
Prouder has a tendency to throw his front leg a little bit lazy. He kind of lays up there, doesn't really commit anything on the front leg, but then he comes back really strong with his back leg.
It is rather interesting that both of these fighters of identical size, both 6 feet, both 155, coming to this fight. Prouder in the gold, Wyatt again in the red. Dwayne Wyatt with only a loss for Ricky Haynes, who was originally scheduled to fight Prouder. And he comes with a barrage of left-right punches on Prouder. Prouder looks like he was incensed and starts to come back at Wyatt.
I think Wyatt is developing a little confidence. I think he's starting to feel like maybe he can fight with this guy.
Wyatt fighting out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Pushed by Prouder. Catches Wyatt off the ropes to the side of the head. Crowd didn't like it. They thought he hit him in the back of the head. Good left-right combination by Prouder. Another good right. It catches Wyatt. He bangs him off the ropes. And sending into the neutral corner is the referee, J.T. Will. So a good right hand by Prouder sends Wyatt reeling backwards, and now the champion comes after him again. Another right hand.
Here again, Prouder comes across with a good right hand, right straight on the button, driving Wyatt back into the ropes. Jay Will stepped in wisely, of course, and giving a standing 8 count at that time to Dwayne Wyatt.
There's probably not a man in the PKA that has seen more bouts than our referee here tonight, J.T. Will. A rather interesting story in his own. He's a stuntman out in Hollywood, in addition to being a karate instructor in his hometown of Columbus, Ohio. So quite a story with our referee, who is the 3rd man in the ring tonight. This is round 3. Alvin Prouder in the goal. Wyatt in the red. Rockford, Illinois is thrilled to see this kind of competition, and they have been very vociferous so far in the first few rounds.
Wyatt a little more cautious this round as Prouder seemingly now is picking up the pace. He's starting to lay those right legs in there with a little more zip, a little harder power.
Good round kick that time by Wyatt.
Good side kick in by Dwayne Wyatt. He got right into the elbows of Prouder. I think Prouder felt that.
John, as you take a look at what Wyatt is doing now here in round 3, how much of an adjustment has he made from round 1?
Well, he's settling down. That was a good right hand digging in there. He's settling down. He's not lunging. He's not forcing the action as much right now. He's a little more relaxed, probably a little tired right now, which is making him a more effective fighter.
Throughout these rounds, you can hear the velocity and the stinging of those punches and kicks.
Both fighters are really throwing everything hard. Every punch, every kick is thrown with maximum power. Prouder, of course, pushing the action and countering again. That's one of his real fortes, is to move just out of range and then counterattack very effectively.
Again, as John pointed out, Wyatt a little more patient in the first round. He came right at Prouder. Prouder caught him a couple of times. Round 2 was a good round for him as well. But Wyatt now a little more patient, and now Prouder has to take the fight to him in round 3.
Wyatt is loading up with his left hand especially, and that's making it easier for Prouder. That's a good right hand by Prouder. Making it easier for Prouder to counter him.
Prouder, an excellent puncher, leads well with the left hand, follows it with the right. These two welterweights have fought through 3 rounds here in Rockford, Illinois.
Don't be left in the dark when it comes.
Prouder knows he's in quite a fight here with Dwayne Wyatt. Wyatt, with his back to you, has fought very well. Despite a shaky start in round 1, he's come on strong against the champion.
Well, I think if Alvin Prouder had any idea that this was going to be a cakewalk, Dwayne Wyatt rather certainly changed his opinion early in this fight by throwing some of those hard kicks and punches that he has.
John Worley, a member of the executive committee of the PKA, scoring at ringside. How does it look now after 3?
At this point, I have Prouder clearly in control, about 30-27. I'm giving all 3 rounds 10-9 to Prouder. But they haven't been dominated type of rounds. They've certainly been good rounds for both fighters.
Keep in mind, that's our unofficial scoring here on ESPN. They be seen differently by the judges at ringside, and some of these rounds have been very, very close. Prouder starting to continue to press the action. Wyatt much more poised than he was in that first round. He might have been somewhat intimidated in round 1 by the champion.
Absolutely. I'm sure that had an effect on him. The thing that Prouder does best, the thing that we want to watch for here, he's excellent at moving just out of range and countering. You'll see Dwayne Wyatt throw a lot of punches that are just out there on the end. They don't have anything on them. Just like that. He moved out of the range of that round kick, and there's a short right.
Good patience by the champion off of that spinning kick. He came back with a strong right hand. And now a standing 8 count, the second of this fight by J.T. Will.
Well, the crowd is booing that standing 8, but he hurt Dwayne Wyatt with that short right hook. He hurt him right on the chin.
He said no.
Fight has been stopped.
J.T. Will indicates that Dwayne Wyatt said, no, I do not want to continue after the second standing 8 count. So the world welterweight champion, Alvin, $1 Million Baby Prouder, has picked up his 27th victory. And it'll be ruled a TKO here in the 4th round.
Alvin Prouder's speed and finesse earn him yet another victory, and his flash etches him forever in the PKA's Greatest Champion Series. Let's go now to